We all wanted to protect the judiciary from military incursion. So we ring-fenced the judiciary. So everybody is afraid. No, 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 don't touch their money. Don't do this, don't do this. And that philosophy carries forward today. The judiciary should not be as aloof as it wants to make out. I was the first, accompanied by my brother, Wole Olanekbaku, who applied because we felt we were qualified to sit in the Supreme Court. The mafia there threw us out. They threw us out. You know why? Because we still mix administration of justice, which the National Assembly cannot, with respect, interfere, how they do their work, with judicial administration, which the National Assembly can make laws. There should be a law governing the process of appointment of senior judges. We can't leave it to the National Judicial Council. All the Constitution says is, once you are 15 years, you are qualified. But the National Judicial Council and the Supreme Court judges have formed a mafia. And we don't get there. And the Supreme Court is this is, with the greatest respect, the worst Supreme Court I have seen in my 45 years of practice. It has to change. A challenge for the National Assembly is to enact a law that deals with judicial administration. I didn't say administration of justice, so you can't go there because that is the internal workings of the judiciary. But judicial administration, no, the National Assembly can make laws. You pass a law so that I do not depend on the Chief Justice of Nigeria if I wanted to become a judge. The law will be passed stating the criteria to become a judge. You will find a big change. So I make that very strong recommendation to the National Assembly. I now turn to a point which I think deserves special attention. We can't pretend that there's hunger in the land. There's a lot of hunger. But I commend President Tinubu for the bold decisions he took. Very few would have taken it. You are to be commended to remove. In fact, I don't know whether you really thought about it because you said it in your acceptance speech. But that was the correct decision, sir. What needs to follow? What needs to... No, don't clap, please. I'm not interested in claps. What needs to follow is the tough job that the National Assembly must do. You must recognize as leaders of your people that there's in the land. There's a lot of hunger. But I commend President Tinubu for the bold decisions he took. Very few would have taken it. You are to be commended to remove. In fact, I don't know whether you really thought about it because you said it in your acceptance speech. But that was the correct decision, sir. What needs to follow? What needs to... No, don't clap, please. I'm not interested in claps. What needs to follow is the tough job that the National Assembly must do. You must recognize as leaders of your people that they're suffering. So you must now support the president with consequential legislation. Consequential legislation that will give them peace. I have introduced in my office, I never knew I would do that, and it's working, and some of them are oxygen, money is in the system. How can Nigeria be described as a country that wants to be in the first 10 when it is not a credit economy? No country survives without a credit system. Nigeria is not a credit economy. So it is a matter of urgency that the National Assembly should look for ways to create a system which economists call gearing, to gear. If you have 100 naira and there's access to finance, you can gear it. When you gear it, then we all become the better. So gearing is crucial to create a credit economy. But it's important that the laws are there. Right now, the laws are not there. So these are some of the tasks that I urge the the National Assembly to consider. One of the most important under economic governance is a national credit guarantee cooperation. These are people who give credit. They see your idea, it is good, they give you the money. We need that. When all these are in place, you'll be very surprised. The Nigerian economy will gear up. When I wrote a letter to the Minister of Finance in the last government, the response was, yes, we had forgotten Mafia. You see the name? Mafia, Ministry of Finance Incorporated. In her response, she accepted that Ministry of Finance Incorporated had, this is only a preliminary study, 33 trillion naira. And we say we're poor. And our so-called nonsense budget is 27 trillion. For a country of 200 million? No. Mr. President, sir. To you, sir. Mr. President of the Senate, our budget next year should not be less than 100 trillion. If it is, then we have failed. I don't want to say you have failed. I'll say we have failed. But I know you know what I mean. 100 trillion. Go and look for the money. Look for it. There are 56,000 uncompleted projects around Nigeria. The federal lands alone, the money there is unbelievable. Look at the Federal Secretariat. It's wasted there for the last 40 years, yet we cannot build the road from Ibadan to Lagos when that is 140 billion. What is it doing there? Sell it. Sell it. And don't be involved in things that the private sector can do. And here I talked to Zach, and I told him, and I'm happy that the president's committee mentioned it. No parastatal or department or agency, thank you, should collect revenue. It's not their job. Nimasao, customs, it's not your job. The job of customs is enforcement of customs regulations, not collecting revenue. So all that collection should go to a new National Revenue Agency. They are the ones to collect money, not the individual parastatals that don't even remit. You will then find that the money is not as difficult as you think it is. You can get the money. Because I have only 5 minutes, I'll just quickly show you, because the president has given a task. Nigeria would be $1,000 trillion economy in 6, 7, let me say 10. It is more than doable. It is doable, but it will require absolute hard work. And that's why I'm pointing out, look at Solid Minerals. My friend that I haven't seen him daily, he can do it. He can do it. Nigeria has about 44 or 45 absolutely required minerals, but not the laws. Not the laws. We have legal failure. Now, let me just return to a point I missed in under economic governance. The difference between revenue and capital. There are different things. So revenue is the public revenue is consecrated by Section 162 of the Constitution. Why is it that our leaders only concentrate on tax and not non-tax? There's a lot more money in non-tax than tax. So if you put tax and non-tax together, you're looking at more than 100 trillion. When His Excellency Oyetola had his meeting with us in Lagos, I showed him where to find the money. I showed him. So we can get the money. So it's possible. So tax and non-tax. Public revenue, federal government only has so much. But it is not federal government public revenue that drives the economy. It's capital. Capital. What is capital? Capital is the national asset. Let me just take housing. In Lagos, 98% of the housing have no title. No title. Therefore, you can't take a loan. Nobody will give you. I, standing before you, I have never gotten a loan. But I got a loan in the UK. I bought the first house because the legal infrastructure